And action! Hello, it's the Captain. Here again with you for this week's episode number 7. It's known as Science Experiments. Just to get you up to speed real quick, these are the episodes that introduce each chapter from the curated collection of journal entries made by yours truly. We are now in the second chapter of part 2, also known as Act 2. If you recall, part 2 is called Making Ready. The first part in Act 1 was called Prelude to a Storm. This part is called Making Ready. This is chapter 7 of the aforementioned book 2020, and it's called Science Experiments, which should be largely self-explanatory. Here you have some inspiration here with the over here it's some foolishness with Gene Wilder doing his experiments in creating a monster, and the kids shouldn't be worried about it. This really is a science experiment. You will learn during this episode about during this chapter about how to generate electricity in your backyard without your parents finding out. Well, actually they find out, but I shouldn't say that. All will be well, not to worry, Mom and Dad. Science Experiments coming up right now. Hi, welcome back. Welcome to episode number 7 of the readings from the 2020. Let's see, where are we? Yes, this is chapter 7, Science, entitled Science Experiments. It's the second chapter. That's part of Act 2, as was already explained to you. Act 2. Okay. Here we go. Captain's Log 20-0007 at the Hermitage Study. I wrote this on a Friday. Out the front window today, I saw a ladder propped up against the place and someone coming down it. I went out the front door to see who was climbing around up on the roof. I came out right when one of Freddy's boys had just stepped off the bottom rung. I can't exactly remember his name, but I will think of it if I rummage through my memory a little. This does not mean I am getting demented, I swear. There are a lot of villagers to keep track of, and I was always bad about remembering names. I don't know about you, but I've always been that way. I probably had a blank expression on my face as Clyde, see? I told you I would remember his name, or was it Clem? Anyway, he gave me an annoyed look and waved the wires he was holding in his hand. Came to fix the wind generator that got blown around in that storm we had the other day, Captain. Remember? Just some loose wires, but I replaced them as these were getting a little ratty. You should be good to go now. Thanks, matey! I decided to go generic instead of actually taking a stab at his name and maybe getting it wrong. You're a good man, I don't care what they say. He gave me a smile, and all seemed forgiven as far as not knowing his name and all. Maybe he thought I plumb forgot all about the wind damage from the storm the other day, or that I had asked his pa to send someone down to check it out, which I did not, by the way. In fact, I was just looking over the manuals on generating power here at the Hermitage. And in general, when I saw Clyde, that is his name, I'm sure of it, clambering all over the roof, I just got a little sidetracked reading over something in one of the journals. Like many older people, my long-term memory works a lot better than those short-term ones. I remember things so much better back when I was a young man. Okay, that introduces the incident that occurred, which you will read all about when you get around finally to reading chapter 7. It has to do with how does one generate energy. And so back here's well, anyway, it's running a video, or it was, about how living off the grid, what does that mean exactly in the specific context of chapter 7. You'll find out Harrison explains how he came to live off the grid, what all that means about the power company, at least how it works in Florida in the 2020s, and how if you wanted to generate your own power and run your lights and everything else at your house, how would you be able to do that? And that becomes important when a storm happens, which you've all been involved in a storm, or maybe just a good stiff wind, and all of a sudden your lights go out. You have no electricity in your place, and there's things you could do about it to generate your own electricity. Yet that presents some challenges itself. So anyway, when you read chapter 7, it's called Science Experiments, and you'll find out all about that incident with me and my mom when she caught me reading a book with a light and wasting energy, or so she thought. But first of all, it's never a waste of energy when you need a light to read something, to educate yourself. But in all events, I had figured out how to generate my own electricity to power my light. But you already know about that because you read chapter 7 already, and if you haven't, well, I hope you can find time to do that soon. Otherwise, you'll find out more in the following episodes from chapter 7. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll see you next Sunday.